Hey, what's going on, guys? Jason Lipoff. I wanted to talk to you guys real briefly for a couple minutes. This is really good for you brand new coaches, for people that are thinking about coaching, to really understand about what it takes to be a leader and how to be successful as a Beachbody coach, and that there's different categories for the way that people are. And I read something today talking about it's in certain people's DNA to really be a leader of leaders, to really have that true entrepreneurial spirit. And I was thinking about that for a while, and I don't know if it's in your DNA or if it's just what you've grown up in, but I do think that there's the DNA component about it. And let me explain to you what I mean. And as I'm talking here, this is real important for you to not to feel like you've got to be like me, but to ask yourself what are your goals and what makes you happy. And if you look at your life, what decisions have you made? Like, was your first choice? And let me give you an example. When I was young, baseball, I absolutely love baseball. I have a passion for baseball. I love the challenge because it's me against myself, especially if I was pitching or up to the plate. Every time I'd have another chance. Some of the things that they tell you to be successful in life, right, or to be a true leader is, you got to fail to get ahead. You got to embrace failure. You got to surround yourself with people that make you better. You got to always be learning and then teaching. However, maybe that isn't for everybody. And happiness is something, maybe it's just one part of that, or maybe it's not that. So let me explain the way that my brain works. My brain works that I knew that I grew up and I was not a very good baseball player. And so my dad had thrown me into baseball training 3 times a week for years until I became an all-star. And not only did I love it, but I couldn't look. It just kept getting better and better and better. I never got tired. I never got burnt out of going to those practices. And then I remember whatever team that I was on, I wanted to be on the better team. So it wasn't about starting. It wasn't about playing time. It was, I want to be around is this the best team? I want to be the best team. And then eventually I want to start on this team. So I remember being on this baseball team where I was the star of the team, and all I wanted to do was quit that team to be on this other all-star team in another town, because I knew that those guys were better than me. Even if I sat the bench all year, and if I pose this question for you, if you had a sport that you absolutely loved, which would you choose? Would you choose to have more playing time and to get recognition for being an all-star on a team that's average, or would you rather be among superstars? I couldn't care less if I sat the bench all day. Just throwing in warm-ups would be fine with me. Because inevitably, my challenge every single day was, what are they doing? And I want to get to that level. And almost inevitably every time I did, because there was never a quit. I just kept going and going and going until it happened. Or like in college, until I graduated. And I graduated from McGill University, and I was a starting center fielder. Like there was just no other option. When everybody stopped, I kept going. Another example, when I was in high school, I remember my sophomore year, I was in geometry, and I had heard about this really tough class, and Mr. Mercer taught it, and it was Algebra 2 Trigonometry, and it was this like red book, I remember. And all I remember is it was one of the hardest classes ever. Now, I rocked geometry, and I knew that I could have, at the beginning of the class, I was getting like a 98. And I was told not to go into this Algebra 2 trig. It was out of my league. And I wrote letters, and I know that my dad pulled some strings, and I went into a class. It was out of my league. I remember looking around these people, and I was like, wow, so this is what it's like. So this is what it's like to be, I love math. This is what it's like. And there was the new challenge. And so how did I do it? I mean, I added on, my dad got me a tutor. I did everything that I needed to do. I studied twice as hard. I did every single question, every single night in that book of the homework until I rocked out that class. And I ended up getting like a 91 in that class because I worked my ass off But at the beginning, I didn't know. Like, I honestly, I didn't, it never thought to my mind that I couldn't do it. It was, what are all the different ways that I can make it happen? Why? Because it was a challenge. It wasn't like I had this like looming vision or goal. It was a challenge. And so when people ask, you know, I'm a pediatric dentist, and so people ask, why Beachbody? You know, why do you do this? And I think that that's one thing that really is, you know, there's a reason, like what Brooke and I, we have got very similar DNA in the fact that we feed off challenge. We just love it. And on top of it, if someone challenges us to tell us we can't do something, or if we see the next level up, we will do whatever it takes to get there. We're never going to quit. So what's good about that and what's bad about that? What's good about that is that we're born leaders. I mean, we are born leaders. You could take everything away from us, and we will end up building ourselves up to where we are now times 10, because everything with us is 10x. And it's hard for us to really see how other people, like when people come to us and they really want to lose weight, and they teach you got to really get into people's whys of, well, you got a really good reason you want to do it for yourself and your kids, and you're making yourself cry about why you want it now, and yet still you tell somebody there's 4 steps. That's it. Is $140 to get nutrition and a workout program and an accountability partner that will check in with you so that you can succeed, so that you can be that person that you've never become. Yet still people can't do it. And that bugs the heck out of us, because we're like, man, we can see people's potential. But I think that we're looking at it wrong in the fact that, guess what? Some people just aren't, it's not in their DNA. So they'll do it when they do it, but they're not gonna go. It's like they'll go all in when they're all in. And that's great, because this world is filled with people that are relentless entrepreneurial leaders, where we'll give up things that other people, doesn't make sense to most people. So like if we'd rather be, you know, working on things that are challenging us than family time, or things that like don't make sense to us, is because it is in our DNA. So we are born leaders. So we will attract followers. I mean, just in our voice, people are like, God, I'm inspired. But then you've got to sit back, and this is especially for you guys that are new, and say to yourself, what kind of person am I? When Brooke and I started with Beachbody, there's a reason why there's so many leaders that had no upline. Brooke and I, we found everything ourselves. We discovered Google. We discovered all the answers on YouTube. We discovered all the aspects of the Beachbody Coach Online office. Nobody told us anything for the first couple months. Anything. Like, there's nothing that would have really told us to keep going. But we did. We kept going and going and going. And then finally, I mean, things just happened. We found Wayne Wyatt, who's another orthodontist, who was top coach 2 years, went to a coach training. Oh, what's this? I don't even remember my failures. And like when I'd fail, like it was never even like, oh, I'm failing. I gotta remember. I gotta push through the failure. I never thought that. I was just frustrated as hell. And I'm like, God, this sucks. I don't want to do this anymore. But like knowing that like it's always the same thing. It's always the same thing. I know that I'm going to keep challenging myself over and over and over again. So you got to ask yourself, are you that person that always wants to put yourself into groups that are higher than you, that challenge you, that make you better? Do you have all of these components? Do you feed off all these components? Because if the answer is yes, then you're a born leader. Then you know what you need to do. Because if you're surrounded by people that are bringing you down, then remove yourself and just keep going, going, going. Don't care about the other people that are saying that you're crazy, because you know that you got purpose. That is how you be an entrepreneur. Network marketing is it can be one of the most amazing things in the world, residual income, but at different degrees. There's no, the reason why Brooke and I, in less than 2 years, why we are doing so well, and we're compounding our income, and that we're confident that we're going to be, our mission is to help as many people as possible. We're going to work as hard as possible. We're going to grind. We're going to hustle, because it's just a reality. It's not like we got the vision in front of us. It just is who we are. So That is how you can make multiple 6 figures. That's how you can be a 7-figure earner in 5 years and have it be residual and live wherever you want. But that might not be you. It really, if it's not in your DNA, then it will frustrate you more than anything to push yourself as hard as we do. And you'll know if you are, if you're saying to yourself, I'm so confused, I don't know where I'm going, and you're waiting for an answer, or are you somebody that is just doing it? That's why we tell people, get Emerald. I mean, Brooke and I, we got Emerald in less than a week. Why? We just did it. We didn't know what the hell we're doing. Diamond, boom, 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 60 days. Like, we didn't care. Onboard people, right, wrong, whatever. We'll figure it out later. And guess what? In the end, it made us who we are. And we're helping, we're developing our own brand, and we will never stop. So, but can you be financially successful and not be this crazy entrepreneurial spirit? Absolutely. You have to focus on your strengths. So you may not want all of this. You may just focus on one thing. Like you're surrounded by people that make you better, or you're really good at failure, very emotionally balanced, or you are a great worker, but you need the direction. Well, then you'd be one of the followers, and you need to have somebody help you, and you're going to have to find somebody underneath you that's got the DNA in them like we do. But don't try and do what we're doing if it's not in your DNA, and that's okay. But then what has to happen is you have to say to yourself, okay, this is who I am. Maybe one day I'll be that, and who knows? But you've got to stay within yourself now to succeed. Because when we tell people, get Emerald as soon as possible, boom, just do it. It's almost like a test for us to say who are the entrepreneurial leaders, and then who are the other people that need more direction, but we need to know that. So, and then there's the lowercase leaders who are going to have their 5, 10 followers. They'll maybe be the emeralds, the diamonds, and you're going to get a very comfortable income over slow and steady. Okay, so after the course of 3 to 5 years, you will get a solid 5 or 6 figure income, slow and steady, because that's your pace. Anything more and it just stresses and frustrates the heck out of you. For us, we feed on speed. Like everywhere I go, I'm thinking about how can I help this person? How can I grow my business? How can I think of a conversation and somehow invite that person into an opportunity? We're always doing that. But if you're not, then you have to say to yourself, well, who am I? So maybe also you're not a leader. Maybe you're somebody that's like the factory worker that works at Ford, and it's like the person whose dad worked their whole life and worked 12-hour days until they died. That's all they know. And they're incredible workers. Love it, love it, love it. Love it more than anything, more than probably their family. And that's all they know. But they need direction. They don't have the entrepreneurial spirit. They're not self-motivated. They need someone to give them a job, and they will get it done. So are you that person? If you're that person, then you come to us and you say, I'm that person. Tell me what to do. Obviously we're looking for the people that are like us. We're like, we don't tell them anything. It's like you sign them up, boom, they go. And they look to us for that inspiration. But you can be whoever you want to be, but you have to stay within yourself. And it's the same thing with the people that you attract as customers. Don't waste your time on the people that keep going back and forth, back and forth. Like, it is what it is. So when someone comes to you and they're talking to you, I want to lose weight, I want to lose weight. Well, that's them walking in the store. But they know why. They know how bad they feel. Like, even though we get their why out of them, it's not like a complete frickin' mystery. They know what they're doing. They know every time they feed their face, and it's like uncontrollable. Like, I don't know why. I don't know why I binge. I don't know why. It happens. Like, you know why. I mean, you get stressed and you don't have control, and you didn't prepare for, for the emotional situation that you're in, or you didn't drink enough water. I mean, it wasn't a priority. Other things were. And for whatever reason, you can't seem to do it. So even when you give somebody a proven structure, or even just one thing, take one shake a day, it'll change your whole life. If someone can't commit to that, then that's it. But the only thing that we have to do is do your job. So how do you do your job? You present all your evidence. If I'm working for a company, I'm using the products, and I'm explaining why these products are changing my life, And if someone is interested in something, I will make a recommendation, I'll tell a story, and I will discuss what this product or what this program is designed to do. I'll use either myself as an example or somebody else, some other tool, and I will let them make the decision. Now, because I'm an entrepreneur, because I want to help people, and because I don't accept no very well, I will push people because I don't want people to go down a path of being unhealthy. You know, I develop an emotional, I care about people. So I do not just let people go. So I will follow up and I will say, you're ready to go. But there's a difference between when you present the evidence, you don't bother them. If you think you've done it right, then that's it. You move on to the next one. You can't waste your energy on somebody that's not willing to commit. There's always people that are not willing to commit. It's never about the price. I've had people borrow money from 3 friends in a church. I've had people that have borrowed money from a grandpa and 2 neighbors. I mean, totally humbling experiences. But they're like, there's no other way. This is my way out. They found a way and they did it. So that's why somebody where even if you give them a free membership, they can't even complete the free membership because it's not about the cost. It's about the commitment. So all we can do is be a product of the product and do as much as you can and reach out to as many people as possible. There's billions of people in this world. We know that we've got the proven structure to change lives. And then on the coach side, you got to decide who you are. So for anybody here, if you're a new coach, if you're a prospect, this is one of the most amazing opportunities. I mean, we take products, we take people, we put them together, we make people better. We put people in accountability groups, support groups that help people, motivate people, and push people to help push over that hump, but you have to want it. I hated the taste of Shakeology when I first started. Hated it. I'm the pickiest drinker in the world. But guess what? When I was ready and I wanted it, it didn't make a difference what it tasted like. I sucked it down. I didn't tell people that like I had the runs for a week. Guess what? I was going to make this happen. And I did. Your mind can let you do whatever you want. So, you want to be a part of this? You want to change people's lives? Let's do this, guys. Have a good one.